Okay, so you got assigned as a healer. This is Mender, and this is how to heal as a flail healer for the Sandworm. Um, the crash course is you cast Vortex, then you spam cast Eruption, and then you auto attack until it stops. It should be about 9 auto attacks if you have max refresh, and you do it again. And that's it. If for some reason a mob shows up, you cast all your healing spells, and then you continue doing the same exact thing. That's your job as a healer for most of the Sandworm phase. Now, if that's all you wanted to know, you can stop the video here. But you might be interested in why, though. Like, why would I do that? And why is it important? And why is the flail secretly the highest DPS contributor to the entire raid? Well, I will answer those questions very quickly for you. So the flail, the main job of the flail is to do damage by buffing your allies and by debuffing or extending debuffs on your enemies. So one of the main things that's very important is this perk called Leader of the Pack. You want to make sure you always have that spec. 10% empower to everybody who's close to you in the entire raid. So you're going to empower like 15 people. Also, Vortex, when you cast it, that little middle part there, 10% empower to everybody who's close to you for 5 seconds. You will have empowered on your amulet. So it's basically permanently up. You run this with Nimble, and you have 4 refreshings, and you have refreshing move. So your Arcane Vortex will always have Empower. Leader of the Pack will always have Empower. And that will keep your allies buffed. Now, as to debuffing your enemies, you're going to cast Arcane Eruption, and this part at the bottom extends the duration of Rends by 30%. So you cast it as often as you can. You have permanent Rends applied from the rest of your raid, and you are keeping them that way. The last thing you have, Vital Embrace. This is from auto attacks. You will extend the duration of bleeds. This will make sure that your evade and bleed rapiers will always have their bleeds at max duration when they get popped, and it'll make sure you do max damage because of that. You also use bludgeon occasionally. It's basically like a few seconds of fortify for your whole team. So use that when ads are going to crash in or when you're in troubles. And that's basically all you need to know for the flail. Oh no, you also got assigned as the VG healer for the Sandworm, and you don't know what to do. Well, here's what you do. You cast Oblivion, you put Rupture down, you turn on Void Blade, you auto attack 6 times, and you repeat. That's all you gotta do. You put Oblivion, you cast Rupture, you auto attack 6 times with Void Blade. And that is all you have to do for a VG healer for pretty much all of the Sandworm. But why though? Of course you are curious about that, and I guess I'll show you the attributes really quick. You want to have int and focus. As you do, you want to hit the crit nodes and the weapon mastery. This tree is kind of scuffed, so don't look at it too carefully. I just want to show you the perks that are important. Void Blade, you just do some damage. Oblivion, this is the main thing. It does 15% empower to your whole group. That's really good. Or at least everybody who's standing in it. So just like the flail, everybody next to you is getting 15 from that. Also, Rupture. This is the single most important spell that you cast as a Void Gauntlet. Oblivion's really good too. But this is what keeps everyone alive and what makes you kind of the main healer of Sandworm. You're going to allow your allies to heal for 20% of all the damage they do to the Sandworm. So this is going to heal everybody in the melee clump, of course, but it's also going to heal all of your ranged lights players and your tank. Especially if your tank is melee, they're going to be on the other side of the worm, not necessarily standing in any heals. So this is their primary heal and their lifeline, and you're responsible for keeping that up 100% of the time. Also, Void Collar's kind of nice. It gives a little AoE heal every now and then, but not really important. But that's your job as a Void Gauntlet. Make sure you have that perma up. Now, unlike the flail, this is not a nimble based build, so you want to have like a Toon Leather Pants or something like that, because you can have perma uptime on both of those important spells without needing additional cooldown from Nimble Coat. So choose a different artifact for your build. Next thing you're going to want to know is, when do I stop doing my DPS combo? And it's right there. It's when the worm does that low rumble. He's calling the adds, and that's where you finish up your combo rotation, switch, throw down all your heals, and then go right back into your damage rotation as you clear out the adds. Okay, so now's a good time to start talking about the Firestorm, aka the kick, or the fire kick that people refer to in the Sandworm raid. That is the Heart Rune, Stalwart Heart Rune of Firestorm. It needs to specifically be the Stalwart upgrade to the Heart Rune. I think you get it in Forge, maybe? I can't remember the expedition that it drops from. But you get it there, and then I think you upgrade it at the stone working table or something like that. But once you have that, the important ability is Cleansing Firestorm, or Cleansing Storm. Excuse me. And it removes all dots from everybody it passes through. So that's what we use to remove acid burn during the raid. It's very critical. You should definitely have one of these if you want to do Sandworm. It's basically a requirement. But for healers in particular, healers are very often asked to use this when the Sandworm does a swipe or a bite attack, which is the attack that has melee range and will hit the melee clump. So the worm's going to do like a sideways swipe attack. I'll show you in a minute. And when it happens, you need to block it, or you're going to get one shot. And then immediately after that, it leaves a pool of acid below the melee stack. So the healer needs to cleanse that acid buildup with the kick. So like what's going to happen, like you're meleeing away, the Sandworm makes the loud noise, you block, and then it's going to leave behind this acid pool. You're going to roll back, kick, and then it'll cleanse the people in front. And then you go back to doing your damage. So you don't need to roll forward for it to hit you. It's always going to cleanse you, but you roll forward just to get back in the action and start damaging the worm. Yep. And it's the same way for VG or flail. The only thing that's different is if you block or not. And I guess to talk a little bit more about the bite while we're here. The bite is going to happen. It is a one-shot ability. You want to make sure that whenever it happens, whatever you're doing, you face the worm and you hold block. You just need to look at the torso. You don't need to look at a door or a window or the sky. You just look at the worm and you hold block. As long as you have 70 stamina or more down here, you will survive. Now, if you, let's say like you just dodged or something, because like a sword guy swung at you, then you need to dodge the bite. And it takes a little bit of getting used to, but I would recommend maybe a double dodge if you need to. That's a surefire way to survive it as well. It might also be that there's a bunch of adds around, and you're worried that while you're blocking, one is going to hit you, which will knock you out of your block, and then you'll die to a worm bite right after that. That is a valid concern. That's very smart of you to be worried about that. If there are ads around, what you can do is do a triple dodge into kind of the corner of the worm so that you have invulnerability frames for the whole duration of the swipe. You won't get hit by the ads and you won't get hit by the worm. That's the safest way to do that. But as a healer, it's a bit perilous because once you do that, you're stammed out and then you need to like run backwards before you can do your kick. So keep that in mind and stay safe out there. And here we have the footage. We've got the loud noise, the bite, healer blocks it, drops back, does a kick, throws down some heals, and then gets right back into the DPS action. Okay, so some peculiarities about the Void Gauntlet you might be interested in knowing. Number one peculiarity is that if you are trying to block a bite with the Void Gauntlet, you need to have your Void Blade out. If not, you're going to get more mana and lose additional health and then die when you get hit because you are not blocking. So the only time that you can block with your Void Gauntlet is when you have the blade active. If for some reason that blade goes down, you will not block anymore. You're going to take additional damage and then you're going to die. Now, strange things that happen when you have the Void Gauntlet is that sometimes it likes to disappear and no longer be active. This happens basically when you interact with anything or when you cast your Heart Rune. Like if I cast this, you'll notice that I no longer have my Void Gauntlet, and if I tried to block after doing a kick, I would die. So be very mindful of that. Make sure that anytime you pick up a fallen ally, cast your Heart Rune, that you're going to re-enable your Void Blade so you can block and not die. The other peculiarity with the Void Gauntlet is that you don't have any inbuilt natural grit. So there's no way that you're going to not get knocked back by a Sandworm pop-up. So in order to not do that, you actually have to time a forward roll so you have invulnerability frames while the pop-up happens. Just something you have to keep in mind to make sure that you're safe while you're playing as a Void Gauntlet against the Sandworm. Next is the Scorpion phase. You're going to try and put a beacon on your tank, throw a Sacred out in Narnia, and then switch to DPS. Your job is to heal your tank a little bit, avoid the acid circles, and then do DPS. After that, you're going to want to try and save up a Sacred Ground, because you're going to want to be able to place that during the stand break phase. Drink a regen potion on your way in, and then put the circle just touching the edge of the dust. After 5 dusts, you need to dodge or block, and then keep throwing down heals. You can do a little bit of damage before the stand bar comes up, but you need to make sure you have your heals down for sure. After you break the stem, keep throwing down heals until all the scorpions are cleared out, and then you're good to go. The last part of Worm is the mine phase. This happens after 40% damage. The worm will go underground, pop up, and throw a bunch of mines out. Your job here is just to look around, find any that are in acid, and put heals on that so they can mine them. Otherwise, you just want to make a safe space next to the worm with some heals for everybody, and then get back to DPSing. So a few closing remarks. You're going to have a lot of aggro. Putting down heals is going to make all the ads angry at you, and they're going to hit you a lot. So do your best to use potions and stay alive in tough spots. Sometimes you're going to have to kite mobs, and it might take you to some unexpected places, but you'll have to improvise when that happens. and do your best to avoid them. When you find yourself further away, you need to be worried about a wide swipe that you're going to have to dodge, and also spits that the worm will do. So when you're further out, just be mindful of that. And overall, just have fun, because sometimes some of your allies might die. It's not a big deal. It just comes with the territory, I guess. Also, sometimes you might die. Don't take it too seriously, but if you stick with it and listen to good tips from your friend Minder here, you'll get a nice clean Sandworm victory and get to celebrate with your buddies. So thanks for listening to this guide. Hope you guys have fun in your Sandworm adventures, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks. Take care.